Did you know that one of the vegetables in your refrigerator right now, something you've probably eaten for decades believing it protects your health, might actually increase your risk of stroke if consumed the wrong way after age 60? It sounds shocking, I know. After all, we've spent our entire lives hearing the same advice. Eat more vegetables. And in most cases, that's excellent advice. But here's what many people don't realize. As the body ages, the way it processes certain nutrients begins to change. Kidney function slows. Blood vessels become less flexible. Medications start interacting with foods in ways they never did before. And sometimes, the very foods you believed were protecting your heart and brain can quietly disrupt the delicate balance your body now depends on. I've spent more than 30 years studying the brain and treating stroke patients. And I can tell you something many seniors discover too late. Stroke risk doesn't always come from fast food or obvious bad habits. Sometimes it comes from well-intentioned, healthy choices. Today, I want to share 7 common vegetables that can create hidden risks for adults over 60. Not because they are bad, but because they must be eaten with awareness. Stay with me until the end, because the final one on this list surprises nearly every patient I speak with. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, how old are you and where are you watching from today? I read many of your comments and it helps guide future videos for this community. Now let's start with the first vegetable, one of the most celebrated superfoods in the world. 1. Spinach, the vitamin K problem. Spinach has long been considered a nutritional powerhouse. It contains iron, antioxidants, and one particularly important nutrient called vitamin K. Vitamin K helps your blood clot properly when you're injured. For younger people, that's an advantage. But after 60, things become more complicated, especially if you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin. These medications are designed to prevent dangerous clots from forming. They work by limiting the activity of vitamin K in the body. But when someone suddenly consumes large amounts of spinach, perhaps in smoothies or large salads, vitamin K levels can rise sharply. That can interfere with the medication's effectiveness. Instead of remaining thin and flowing easily, the blood may begin to clot more easily again. Often this change happens silently. You don't feel anything unusual. But internally, the balance that keeps circulation safe may shift. Over time, small clots can begin forming in vulnerable blood vessels. And if one travels to the brain, it can block the oxygen supply to vital brain tissue. That's when a stroke occurs. I once treated a patient who believed he was improving his health by drinking a large green smoothie every morning. Spinach, kale, avocado, protein powder. A perfect health drink, or so he thought. But because he was taking blood thinners, the large daily dose of vitamin K created fluctuations in his clotting levels. Eventually, one of those clots reached the brain. This is why consistency matters. If you eat leafy greens, that's perfectly fine, but keep the amount consistent and always inform your doctor. Sudden changes are what create the risk. 2. Beets, when blood pressure drops too low. Beets are famous for their ability to lower blood pressure. They contain natural compounds called nitrates, which help relax blood vessels and improve circulation. For many people, that's beneficial. But in seniors who already take medication for hypertension, beets can sometimes push blood pressure lower than intended. And extremely low blood pressure can create another kind of problem. When pressure drops too much, the brain may not receive adequate blood flow. That means less oxygen reaches brain cells. During sleep, when blood pressure naturally falls even further, circulation can slow significantly. In this low-flow environment, blood can begin pooling in small vessels, and pooled blood is more likely to form clots. This doesn't mean beets are dangerous, but timing and portion size matter. Large amounts of beet juice at night, especially alongside blood pressure medication, can sometimes create an imbalance. Doctors often recommend enjoying foods like beets earlier in the day when blood pressure is naturally higher. 3. Celery, the hidden dehydration effect. Celery is often praised as a healthy snack. It's low in calories and high in water. But it also acts as a mild natural diuretic. That means it encourages the body to release water and sodium through urine. For younger individuals, this usually isn't an issue. But older adults already tend to experience reduced thirst signals and mild dehydration. When fluid levels fall, the blood becomes thicker. And thicker blood moves more slowly through narrow vessels. Slow circulation is one of the key ingredients that can contribute to clot formation. I've seen cases where seniors unknowingly combine diuretic medications with foods that also increase fluid loss. Overnight, dehydration worsened. By morning, dizziness or weakness appeared. The key message here is balance. If you enjoy celery, simply make sure you stay well hydrated throughout the day. 4. Kale, a thyroid interaction few people know about. Kale has become one of the most fashionable health foods in recent years. It's loaded with vitamins and antioxidants. But raw kale also contains compounds known as goitrogens. These substances can interfere with how the thyroid gland processes iodine. For most people eating normal amounts, this isn't a problem. But consuming large amounts of raw kale daily, especially in smoothies, may affect thyroid function in susceptible individuals. Why does that matter for stroke risk? Because thyroid health plays an important role in metabolism, cholesterol levels, and circulation. When thyroid activity slows significantly, cholesterol levels may rise, and arteries can become more prone to plaque buildup. Again, moderation is key. Cooking kale reduces many of these compounds and makes it easier for the body to process. 5. Canned vegetables, the sodium issue. One of the biggest hidden dangers in many canned vegetables is excess sodium. Salt is commonly added as a preservative. A single serving can contain several hundred milligrams. For seniors whose kidneys and blood vessels are already under strain, high sodium intake can raise blood pressure significantly. High pressure inside aging arteries can damage the delicate inner lining of blood vessels. Over time, this damage encourages plaque buildup and clot formation. That's why doctors often recommend choosing low-sodium canned options, rinsing vegetables before eating, or using frozen vegetables without added salt. These small changes can dramatically reduce sodium intake. 6. Potatoes, the blood sugar spike. Potatoes are technically vegetables, but nutritionally they behave more like carbohydrates. They contain large amounts of starch that rapidly convert to glucose. After age 60, the body often becomes less sensitive to insulin. That means blood sugar may remain elevated longer after a meal. Repeated spikes in blood sugar can damage blood vessels and promote inflammation. Inflamed vessel walls become more vulnerable to plaque and clot formation. This doesn't mean potatoes must disappear from your diet, but pairing them with protein, fiber, and healthy fats can slow the release of glucose into the bloodstream. 7. Pickled vegetables, salt and acid combined. Pickles and fermented vegetables are popular for their flavor and probiotic benefits, but many contain extremely high sodium levels. High sodium increases blood pressure, and the acidic nature of these foods can sometimes worsen nighttime reflux, which may disrupt sleep and stress the nervous system. Poor sleep quality has also been linked with increased cardiovascular risk. So if you enjoy fermented foods, small portions earlier in the day may be a better option than eating them late at night. Final message. If there is one lesson I hope you remember from today's discussion, it's this. Vegetables are not the enemy, but how your body responds to them changes with age. After 60, health becomes less about extreme diets and more about balance. Your brain relies on steady circulation, stable blood pressure, and consistent nutrition. Large swings in salt, sugar, hydration, or medication interactions are what often create problems. By understanding how these foods interact with the aging body, you can make simple adjustments that protect your brain and heart for years to come. Before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these vegetables surprised you the most, and how many minutes a day do you usually spend thinking about your health habits? Your experiences help this entire community learn and stay healthier together. Thank you for watching, and take care of your brain.